What's going on, YouTube? My name's Adam Watson. If you haven't tuned into my videos, I do a lot of videos about coming through Canada up to the state of Alaska. I live in the beautiful state. I'm a pilot up here. My wife is a flight attendant. That's the reason we moved up here. We actually moved up here from Montana right before this I call it the pandemic. Right before the pandemic started up, we moved up to here in January 2020. It all hit about April. We went back to get some of our stuff. Ended up making a decent amount of money on a truck and a trailer that we bought to get the rest of our stuff up from Montana during the whole pandemic. And so I ended up doing it as a business. I got laid off due to COVID, and my wife was laid off, so I started doing it as a business. I was flying down, buying trucks and trailers from the lower 48, enclosed trailers, bringing them back up. I was putting Subarus inside the trailers and selling all three when it got here. I did really well with it. And I had to deal with Canada and all their insanity stuff that they had going on throughout all this. So I started doing videos just to help people. My ultimate goal with YouTube still is to do travel videos and aviation videos in Mexico. My wife, Christina, is originally from Mexico, and that's where I want to go more than she does. So anyway, our goal is to live half our time in Mexico and half our time in Alaska eventually, and hopefully that plan will come together sooner than later. So we do a lot of travel tips in Mexico, but lately here it's been all about coming through Canada to get up here to this beautiful state of Alaska. So I have decided I was doing like weekly videos, but I don't want to just bore you with the exact same information, but I am hearing from probably about 10 to 15 people a month that have made the trip up. So now the new question always is, what if I'm unvaccinated? Things like that. So I've decided, today's the 31st of May, I've decided I'm going to start doing one video a month. And just like I did the last video I shot it when I was out hiking. I got some information I wanted to get out to everyone. I shot it, quickly to get that information out. So I've decided that I'll definitely do that. But I'll make sure to give you at least one video a month. So if you can, please like and subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you get alerts whenever I do bring a video up. Because if I get information, I will get it out immediately. I've been working a whole lot at my new job. Finally done with all my training. Thank God. It's been a long process. Finally getting to fly through this beautiful state. At the end of this video, I'll even attach a few pictures. It's absolutely amazing of what I get to see every day. Anyway, so you probably tuned in. You have questions. What if I'm unvaccinated? What if I am vaccinated? Coming through Canada. Canada's insane. They just announced today they're freezing their gun laws. I mean, I'm not making a political statement out of this channel, but it's something new with those folks every day. They have been the absolute worst neighbors. Now let me get this straight. I absolutely love Canadians. I love Canada. I think it's a beautiful country with tons of a great history. I think the trucking rally they did was absolutely amazing, and I think it probably did more good than we'll ever realize. I love Canadians. I love Canada. Their government is horrible, and so is ours, but theirs is even worse. So it's pretty sad. To me, the most powerful president in North America right now is the president of Mexico, and that's saying something. That's a pretty corrupt country. As much as I love it, it is what it is. So I made some notes. Everybody's asking. A lot of the recent inquiries I have, in fact, I'll read some emails. I've got two of them pulled up here. Janet says, "Hi, I ran across your video on crossing Canada. I plan to drive from Billings." That's awesome, Janet. I actually lived in Red Lodge. I moved here from Red Lodge. I love Billings. I plan to drive from Billings to Fairbanks in July 2022. I'm seeking any advice. Thanks, Janet. I asked Janet, I said, "Hey, Janet, are you vaccinated?" She says, "Yeah, I'm vaccinated." So if you're vaccinated, it's super easy, believe it or not. So all you do is, no matter if you are or you're not vaccinated, you'll have to have the Arrive Canada app, Janet. So what you'll want to do is go ahead and download that app. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to have a negative COVID test. So it's super easy there. So you literally just download your app. You'll download a picture of your vaccine card into the app. From what I'm told, they don't even check the actual physical card as long as it's in the app. They will require it inside that app. Go ahead and get all that done, put your time, and you'll do this, a couple of days prior to crossing the border. Put what date you plan on crossing, the time, the whole 9 yards. I recommend, if you're vaccinated, I don't think you'd have problems at any crossing. I've yet to hear from anyone that had a problem crossing vaccinated. So I recommend, especially you, Janet, coming from Billings, what I would recommend if I were you is to go up to Great Falls. I always spent the night in Shelby, Montana. It just works out great. There's a Best Western there on the left as soon as you exit off going north. It's a really nice Best Western, and I'm a hotel snob. I don't like cheap hotels. I used to stay there. It was amazing, and I'd get up early the next morning and start my journey from Shelby. Kind of gives you a day to kind of get ready for everything. And then from Shelby, Montana, I would always go to Grand Prairie. So I'd cross in Coots or Couts, Alberta. I'd go to Grand Prairie. I always stayed at the Hampton Inn, super nice. There's a place called Brown Social House. It's not far from there. It's a really nice place to get something to eat. It's walking distance after driving all day. The Hampton Inn's one of the nicest Hampton Inns I've ever stayed in is there in Grand Prairie. It's super nice. Any of the hotels around there look very nice. It's a really nice area. From there, the next stop I would do day 2 is Northern Rockies Lodge. If you don't get anything out of this whole video, and I don't get paid from these people, Northern Rockies Lodge is by far my favorite stop. It's especially in July. It's going to be absolutely amazing. They've got a beautiful lake with all these float planes coming and going. It's this beautiful log cabin lodge. They rent out little cabins, or you can stay in like their hotel type room, or you can camp. It's just an amazing place. The food's incredible. They do meal packages. It's expensive in some people's terms, but being out here in Alaska I go to places that are $350 a night for a tiny little shack. So to me, they're very reasonable. It's in the middle of nowhere. They have to fly all their food in. The food's absolutely amazing. They have German beer on tap. Everything's homemade. There's nothing like Cisco type stuff. It's just an incredible meal, and I think it's roughly like $60, and that includes your dinner and your breakfast. And dinner's a full course, salad, dessert, main course. It's not bad. To me, it's not bad. It's well worth it. It's my favorite stop along the way. So the third night, I would stop in Whitehorse. That's a beautiful town. Pick any of the hotels you get a decent deal in. I really don't have one I recommend because I was avoiding Whitehorse a lot during the pandemic. So I don't know. I would go to Whitehorse. I love Whitehorse. I avoided it a lot. The first time we went up, we stopped in Whitehorse. I don't even remember the name of the hotel, but the town itself is just absolutely beautiful. And then if you're tired, you can stop in Tok, Alaska. I do recommend carrying extra gas. That's just me. I always carry 20 gallons worth. You could easily get by with 5 or 10 gallons worth. And in all reality, if every gas station's open, and in July they would be, you could get by with no gas. I'm just really anal about being a 200-mile stretch because sometimes you're right at 200 miles between gas stations. What if that one gas station, because at the end of that 200 miles, there'll be like one gas station. So what if that one gas station is not working? You would need extra gas. I think you put in one of your emails about, needing to work on cars and stuff. Make sure if you're pulling a trailer, you want 2 spare tires. I recommend 2 spare tires. I've had that happen. I've had several blowouts on a trailer, especially in July. You're actually better off in the winter, believe it or not. But in July, the road, especially in the Yukon, it just chews away trailer tires. So if you are pulling a trailer, I recommend 2 spares. If you could have 2 spares for your vehicle you're pulling, it'd be great. The only problem I see you having mechanically is going to be tire related. So make sure you have an easy way to change trailer tires and have you'll definitely want 2 spare tires. Take my word for that, because I pulled a lot of trailers up through here. It's super easy. If you're vaccinated, you have nothing to worry about. They're not going to give you a time limit to get through. It's just super, super easy. So Janet, if you have any other questions, shoot me an email, bigSkyBlessing@gmail.com. As far as gas stations go, like I said, there's plenty along the way. Every time you get gas, stop. I bring the 20 gallons, and I use my first 20 at Northern Rockies Lodge because it's outrageous there, but it's the only place in the middle of nowhere. I fill myself up and then top off with their gas. They do give you a discount for staying there. And then there's a little truck stop on the left right before you, about 30 miles before you get into Watson Lake. It's going to look like this rundown little place, and it's going to say cheapest gas around, and it really is. The sign's actually not lying. It is cheaper than Watson Lake. You can fill up there, or you can fill up in Watson Lake, and that's where I fill those gas cans up. I fill up at the mom and pop place to help those folks out, and they do have cheaper gas, and I fill my 20-gallon gas tank up. I save them. So then you can go all the way down to, I think it's Tesla, get gas. From Tesla, you'll make it to Whitehorse. Whitehorse, you'll fill up. When you get to Beaver Creek, that's where I use the last of my 20 gallons. That will get me into Tok, Alaska, where gas is reasonable. Beaver Creek is, back in the day, was $5 or $6 a gallon. Now it's probably 10 if I had to guess. I'm guessing. So that's that. All right, but now to the big question. If unvaccinated, that's a big question I get. So I have talked to about 6 people recently that tried crossing in Washington State. They were unvaccinated, and they couldn't prove what they did with their house. So let me tell you the way it was before, before the vaccine was required, and from the very beginning. It seems like they're kind of going back to this. I highly recommend crossing in Couts, Alberta. If you watch any of my videos, I always say that. They do seem to be the most reasonable of all. I do not recommend you driving your guns up. Can you carry long rifles? Yeah, you can. it just makes you get searched. It's just a whole nother realm of opening up. I highly recommend the most absolute easiest thing you can do if you're unvaccinated. And this goes for anybody as far as guns, fly them up. That's what I did. Now, airfare used to be very, very cheap to and from Anchorage. I was flying every week before, and thank God I'm not anymore. I can imagine the expense with that. It's gotten crazy expensive, so that may be an added cost that you just can't afford. I totally understand it. Everything's costing us a lot more right now. If you have the financial means, I highly recommend you flying your guns up. That's what I did. I got a big bow and arrow case, and I had like at one time 6 guns in this thing. They don't care how many, as long as it's a hard plastic case with the TSA locks. Do it as a checked luggage. Declare it. You'll fill out a slip. It's super easy, especially with Delta or Alaska, United, any other major airlines. Super, super easy. I recommend you doing that. If you don't have any guns, that's just less time you have to deal with those people. If you do have guns, they're going to search you. Now, I know I kind of got off on a rabbit trail, but I get asked a lot about guns. So if you're unvaccinated, what you have to do, you have to, let's say you sold your house in Wisconsin. I'm just throwing this, let's say your name is John Smith. You sold your house in Wisconsin. You're moving to Alaska. You're moving to Palmer, Alaska. What you would have to do is you would absolutely have to show, hey, I sold my house in Wisconsin, or no, we decided to keep it as an investment, so we're renting it out. Here we got Ron Clark renting it out for us. I'm just throwing these names out there. Here's the lease that Ron Clark signed, 10 days ago, right before we left. Ron's got the house now. He's leasing it. Here's the house we're moving to in Palmer. Here's our lease in Palmer. Or here's a house we bought in Palmer. Whatever the case may be, you need to prove what you did with the residence you left, prove that you left that residence, and prove where you're going. Now, if you have the money and you're going to fly, I recommend flying here first. Fly up here, get your guns up here by aircraft, get your Alaska driver's license. It's super easy to go across. If you have your Alaska driver's license, you're not going to have any problems coming up here unvaccinated because you're going home. Don't tell them, hey, I just moved up there. You just say, hey, we moved up here a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. Here's my driver's license. I live in Alaska. I'm going home. Finally moving the rest of our stuff back up there. They won't even question you. You won't even have to prove what you did with the last place. If you have that Alaska driver's license, you're going home. I recommend if you're unvaccinated, definitely crossing Couts, Alberta. Do not cross in Washington. 6 people that I know of have been turned around, all because they couldn't prove what they did with their home before. And all of them have truly had places here. They could prove they were coming here. And they would prove that they were just getting ahead of the game. Let's say a lot of people do like slope jobs. They have 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I'm like, I got 2 weeks off. My wife and I are going to move up here after the kids are out of school. And this was a scenario for a lot of people. We'll just go ahead and move our stuff up to Alaska. I'm just going to go ahead and take these 2 weeks that I have, move some stuff up, and then fly back down, and then we'll move some more stuff. They would not let them do that. You can only move one time, and oh my God, it's crazy. So they're only letting you through unvaccinated one time if it's for moving purposes from what I was told. So if you're going home, they're not going to deny you going to your house. You can go several times. I did it a bunch, and I'm not vaccinated. So that's the problem with the other crossings. The best route to take is exactly what I told Janet at the beginning of it. It's the easiest. It's got the most stops, the most gas. It's what I recommend. I had another, Jeff wrote me, he says, hello friend, I've recently stumbled across your videos on YouTube regarding moving to Alaska unvaccinated during this odd time. My family and I are planning on moving to the Mat-Su Valley, that's where I live, where he grew up, and staying away from the lower 48. Can't say I blame him. We've sold our house in Nevada, and we're planning to making the trip beginning of July. I was hoping to get a list of any resources or recommendations that you could provide. I'm nervous about getting stopped by the border and having to decide and having to do my research first. So something I did leave out, Jeff, and that's the reason why I'm going back reading these emails. If you're unvaccinated, you still have to get the test. I recommend just going on Canada's website and you can look at it, but you still will need the negative PCR test. I've heard conflicting stories about that. There is a place in Great Falls that does the test. I've heard they do a rapid PCR test, and I just had someone write comments in one of my videos that no, they don't no longer do the rapid PCR test. I don't know the answer to that. In fact, if someone's coming through unvaccinated, I want to hear from you regardless. Please email me, bigskyblessing@gmail.com, and please let me know. The company in Great Falls, do your research. Great Falls is going to be the best place to actually get that particular test done. What I was hearing before was you want to have an appointment. A lot of guys were sitting in Great Falls 2 or 3 days waiting to get an appointment to get that test. You have to have that negative test, and they're going to test you again at the border. It's a big pain in the butt. So Jeff, my advice to you, you're moving up here, prove what you did in your house in Nevada. My biggest advice, if you have the money, Jeff, my biggest advice is to fly up here, get your Alaska driver's license. If you have guns, and I'm sure you do, if you have guns, bring those with you on the airlines. Do not try bringing them through. 100% of everyone that's been bringing guns through in the last 3 to 6 months have been getting searched, which opens up more questions for this, more questions for that. I just recommend just taking that totally off the table and just flying them all up here. That's my advice. Even if you got to pay extra luggage, it's just worth it to not deal with those. Those people are just very unique when it comes to guns, and they're getting worse, in my opinion. So, and I don't think you can carry your handguns anyway, but I'd recommend flying them all. Nope, no weapons. You can't have body armor. I had a guy that was in law enforcement. He got in trouble for his body armor. He got in trouble for his pepper spray. You can have bear spray, but not pepper spray. Go figure, right? So, bear spray is a larger can. Anyway, I got through with body armor. Didn't know it was against their rules because I used to be in law enforcement. Thank God I didn't get stopped for that. They charged this guy $500 for having a bulletproof vest. So, anyway, I didn't declare it. Didn't know it was a problem at that point, but now I would not carry anything law enforcement related. So make sure you carry no weapons. So Jeff, I know I kind of got off on a rabbit trail. You want to get vaccinated before you get to roughly Great Falls is probably the best place. But make sure, I think it's got to be within 72 hours. Maybe you could, if you can get from Nevada to the border in 72 hours, and you could, maybe you could just get it done right where you live and then have your results right before you cross the border. That's another idea. I do recommend you going to Couts, Alberta. I don't recommend you going to any other crossing. So it would be the same thing I told Janet, crossing there. Prove what you did with your place in Nevada and prove where you're going to be staying in the Mat-Su Valley or in Alaska, and make sure you make this move look legit. But it needs to look legit. Or come up here, fly up here, get Alaska driver's license. You're just finishing the move, moving the rest of your stuff home. And that's what I really recommend, if I'm honest. I think everybody I've talked to that's done that, it's been a whole lot easier. So, my next thing is this, guys. I'm gonna do one video a month and update everybody. So that's that. So I've got 6 people that I've talked to, probably 15 or 20. Everyone's getting through unvaccinated that can prove what they've done with their stuff in the lower 48 as far as their housing goes, and everyone's getting through that come prepared. You will, regardless vaccinated or unvaccinated, you will have to do the Arrive Canada app. That used to be a thing that we didn't do. And another thing, Jeff and Janet, it's going to ask you, if you were to come down with COVID, where would you quarantine in Canada? Well, you're not stopping in Canada, technically. I mean, yeah, just choose a hotel in Alberta somewhere. Like, choose wherever you're going to stay in Grand Prairie. Make that go ahead and make a reservation. Make that your quarantine place in the event that you were to test positive for COVID-19. While in Canada, you have to put an address in there. The border people are giving that recommendation out. So go ahead and have that done prior to have that whole app ready before you even get to the border. And 9 out of 10 times, you're going to zip right, especially if you're vaccinated, you're going to zip right through. I know it's crazy laws. The vaccines don't seem to be slowing down the spread. I guess that's not what this video is about. Whether it is or not, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But that's what Canada says you have to do. It's their country. It is what it is. Please, I want to do one video a month. I'm going to update everybody. Don't forget to hit the bell, subscribing, because if I get any new information, I'll immediately be getting it out. I'm basically using this channel for one source for everybody to kind of come to, and we'll keep updating everyone. Please write in the comments or email me, bigskyblessing@gmail.com, of what you want to see on the next video. I don't want to keep giving you the same information. I want to give you good, true information that you want. Tell me anything you want to know about the trip. I've made the trip a bunch, and I'm talking to a bunch of people that have made it. Now, I haven't made it in a year. So I've been in aviation doing all that stuff, but I'm talking to people every single week that are making it. If you email me and it takes me a few days to get back to you, I'm sorry. I've been flying my butt off lately here, which is a good thing. I'm getting a lot of good experience. Stay tuned for the end. I'll show you some beautiful pictures of what I've been seeing in this wonderful state just in the last couple of weeks flying. It's just amazing. I'm seeing volcanoes and all kind of beautiful places. It's such a beautiful state. If you're moving up here, you're going to love it. Other than the mosquitoes, you'll want to get one of those little zappers to zap the mosquitoes. All right, my name is Adam again. I hope this information is helpful to you. Please let me know what you want in the next video so that way I can get you exactly the content that you want. This is your channel. This is our channel. So let's make it good information, not just baloney that you listen to. And that's all I got for you. God bless you all, and good luck, and let me know if I can help you. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.